This memory is still perfectly clear. I was 12, alone in the house overnight with my older brother, Zach. He was supposed to be in charge. He was the one who made me swear not to tell our parents he was leaving. That was the first rule. At first, it felt like pure victory. The entire empty house belonged to me. Zach told me he was going out. I agreed to keep his secret. Why wouldn't I? His freedom meant mine. If our parents ever found out, his consequences would be severe. I decided to claim the den. I chose a horror film, a childish decision, the kind you only recognize as a mistake once it's far too late. I had never been alone that long after dark. Halfway through, the fear arrived, not from the screen, from the architecture, the groan of settling wood, the tap of a branch against glass. Every sharp noise from the television made my body tense. My eyes kept pulling toward the darkness behind the couch, waiting for a shape to materialize. I finally surrendered, killed the television, and ran upstairs to my room. I needed a distraction. I played video games for hours until fatigue set in. I decided to sleep. That's when I felt it. A deep tremor through the house, the front door closing. I lay still, listening. It had to be Zach, but the sounds that followed were wrong, prolonged, muted scuffs, unidentifiable impacts downstairs. My gut tightened. I left my bed. I crossed to the window and looked down into the driveway. The space where his car was always parked was empty. Just flat, black asphalt. That single fact detached me from all remaining calm. I was 12. I had no cell phone. My only lifelines were the landline phones downstairs. In the heart of the silent, breathing dark, I moved in silence toward my bedroom door. My fingers confirmed the lock was engaged. I also knew its fatal flaw. This door was not a barrier. It was a suggestion. My eyes found the only option, a shallow crawl space built into the wall. I squeezed inside and pulled the door closed, sealing myself in absolute darkness. My mind raced, constructing fragile excuses. This hope lasted seconds. Then the noise, the distinct rattle of the door handle. A click. The door swung open. A presence was now inside the room with me. I listened to footsteps. The groan of floorboards, objects being lifted, set back down. Time lost all meaning. My entire consciousness focused on the thin panel of wood in front of my face. It could open at any moment. An unknowable amount of time passed. The footsteps faded. I stayed compressed in that dark space for what felt like 2 hours. Finally, a voice. Jax calling my name from downstairs. He entered my room, angry, demanding to know why I was hiding. I stepped out. His first reaction was fury. In that instant, I knew. The person in my room had not been him. We moved through the house together. The reality revealed itself. Drawers hung open. Gaps where electronics had been. Televisions, game consoles, gone. The house had been systematically harvested. Zach called the police. My parents returned around 4 in the morning. My father's rage was immediate and physical against Zach for his negligence. I received no punishment, only the permanent fear. Years earlier, I lived with my grandparents. One rule was absolute: never open the door. A neighbor, David, was a constant presence. One evening, I was left alone. My grandfather's final instruction was the rule. Minutes after he left, a knock, David's voice. I told him no one was home. He said he'd just seen my grandfather leave. He asked to be let inside. I argued he was a stranger. He insisted he was the neighbor. To a child's logic, he was correct. I turned the lock. David filled the frame, clearly intoxicated. He stepped inside, his hands landing on my shoulders. I told him he could wait in the kitchen. His grip didn't release. His voice changed, replaced by something low and angry. He dragged me to the kitchen, reached for a large knife, and pressed the point against my stomach. He asked if I wanted to be stabbed. I started to cry. He told me to be quiet or he would cut my throat. To prove it, he dragged the blunt edge of the blade across my neck. Then a sound. My grandfather's truck returning. Relief surged. I drew a breath to scream. His hand slammed over my mouth. He pivoted us both to face the doorway as my grandmother walked in. Her smile vanished. She screamed. My grandfather charged in. David shoved me to the floor. My grandmother shielded me. I heard the struggle. My grandfather forced him out and slammed the door. Years later, I understood. David had waited. He knew the schedules. He watched my grandfather leave. That window was deliberate. After my grandfather's funeral, I sat with my grandmother. I called him a hero for that night. She grew uneasy. She asked if I remembered him leaving to go hunting later that same evening. I did. He departed after dark, which was not his pattern. I asked her why. She claimed not to remember. The police were never called. David vanished completely after that night. My grandfather was a respected hunter. No one would question a bloody tarp in his truck bed late at night. Spring break 2020, I was 15, home alone. A casual acquaintance, Mason, called. He asked if he could drop off a mutual friend, Neil, for the night. I refused. Mason's tone shifted to pleading. Then he offered an incentive, use his weed pen. I agreed. It was a profoundly stupid decision. They arrived. As Mason left, he grabbed Neil by the shoulders, tears in his eyes, and begged him not to do that thing. Neil gave a flat acknowledgement. I let him inside. His first question was if all the doors were locked. Every internal alarm activated. I showed him. He stood silently. Then his arm shot straight up into the air with a grotesque, toothy grin. He said nothing. We went to the kitchen for water. I saw him drift toward the knife drawer. His hand rose to open it. I crossed the room, grabbed his wrist, and slammed the drawer shut. He didn't flinch. He just stared and let out an empty chuckle. Primal fear locked my joints. My world narrowed to one objective: remove him from the house. He suggested we walk to the park. I agreed instantly. I let him exit first, told him I needed shoes, closed the door and locked it. I called my brother. Then, high and panicked, I gathered every knife in the kitchen and took them upstairs. My brother arrived with friends in under 5 minutes. They found Neil outside, rambling about coaches being in the Illuminati. A friend drove Neil home. I called Mason. He explained. During the car ride, Neil had been reading a manifesto, stating he needed to kill himself or someone else to stop his father from killing him first. Mason panicked. He just needed to get Neil out of his car. It was later confirmed. Neil had taken substances that triggered a severe psychotic break. I was 10. My mother left for groceries after I threw a fit to stay home. I shot baskets in the street. Stopping to catch my breath, I looked up at the house. At the upstairs window, a shadow stood behind the glass. It shifted. Someone was up there watching. Everyone was supposed to be gone. The basketball slipped from my hands. I ran inside, slammed the door, and shouted up the stairs. A voice answered, "Rad, come upstairs." It was not a voice I recognized. An attempt at a normal tone that didn't land. I did not approach. I grabbed the kitchen phone, sprinted outside, and called my mother, sobbing. She believed me and called the police. Officers arrived and searched. They found nothing. After they left, my mother's belief wavered. She warned of punishment if it was a prank. That night, I woke in the dark to a sound in my room. I sat up. My vision adjusted. I saw the familiar outlines of my furniture, and I saw a new shape. A tall, dark, motionless figure standing near my bed. For a second, I doubted my sight. Then it moved. The slightest adjustment confirmed it. A full-grown adult was in my bedroom. I screamed. A raw, fractured sound. The figure moved instantly. 2 strides. He slid my window open, vaulted out, and landed on the awning below. My father gave chase but found no one. We never learned how long he had been inside. He was there during the day, long enough to learn my name, to watch me. He stayed until nightfall, or he left and returned. He was in my room as I slept, standing in the dark. What else he did while occupying our home remains a permanent, unanswerable question. That is the most terrifying part. 4 separate stories, 4 different houses, one common thread, the violation of a space that was supposed to be safe. The paralyzing moment when you realize you are not alone, and the person with you does not belong there. The instinct that screams at you to hide, to run, to fight, often before you fully understand why. Each event was preceded by a dismissed rule, a broken protocol, a moment of assumed safety that was actually vulnerability. Letting the brother leave, opening the door for the known neighbor, allowing the unstable friend inside. Staying home alone as a child. The pattern isn't about luck. It's about the calculated exploitation of trust, of routine, of the very human desire to believe our environment is secure. The aftermath is a different kind of fear. It's the permanent recalibration of your nervous system, the double-checking of locks, the hesitation in empty hallways, the knowledge that harm doesn't always announce itself with a stranger's face in a dark alley. Sometimes it's already inside. It's learned your name. It's standing in your kitchen, or it's watching you from your own window, waiting for the right moment to step out of the shadows. These memories are not just stories. They are maps of fragility. They outline the precise moments when ordinary life fractures and something else looks in. Pay attention to the rules. Listen to the instinct that feels wrong. Your safety is a series of conscious decisions. Make every one of them count. With that said, thanks for watching, and until next time.